Good morning, wrestling fans. Today is Tuesday, October 24th, 2023. Lance Brock here. Hope everyone is having a really good Tuesday morning so far. And just a reminder, new episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic available now, talking about last night's WWE Monday Night Raw, available right here on Spreaker or wherever you listen to 360 Wrestling Podcast. Also, on today's Tuesday episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans, going to talk a little bit about some of the more news and notes that have just come out from over the weekend. Sunday, it was reported that in Chicago at Cicero Stadium for the Impact Wrestling TV tapings, Phil Brooks, CM Punk was backstage, and also Ace Steel was reportedly both at Bound for Glory on Saturday night and at the TV tapings in a producing role for the company. And what I understand, his work at the pay-per-view and the tapings have received rave reviews so far in Impact Wrestling. And as far as Mr. Brooks, CM Punk goes, I wouldn't read into this too much just yet. I wouldn't automatically jump to the conclusion that CM Punk going to Impact Wrestling, the soon-to-be TNA Wrestling once again in January 2004. Don't automatically assume that, because just think about a couple things first. It was in the Chicago area. His good buddy Ace Steel was working backstage as a producer. He does have other friends there in Impact Wrestling as well. I know he's pretty good friends with Mickie James, actually, because if you remember, he was also at the Impact tapings that were in Chicago the last time. And that was around the same time he showed up at a WWE show too. And nothing came from it. That's because at the time it was during his AEW hiatus, while he was still actually under contract with AEW, so he couldn't, but he was there. I know he took pictures with Mickie James and some of the other Impact Wrestling talent. But I'm not saying that there's no chance of CM Punk going to Impact. It's pro wrestling. Never say never. He was there for a short time before. It's a much different company than when CM Punk was in NWA TNA at the Nashville Fairgrounds, where he was a part of Raven's gathering with Julio De Niro and Alexis Lurie, now known as Mickie James, where also he got in a fight with Teddy Hart at the White Trash Cafe in Nashville. That's a pretty famous story. If for some reason you haven't heard that story, I'm sure you can probably Google it. And that Teddy Hart obviously hasn't been a part of Impact Wrestling in a long time. And I'm sure that the talent there in Impact will probably realize that right now for Impact, having a name like CM Punk would probably help ticket sales, would probably help with pay-per-view buys. And as they announced in the main announcement, or not the main announcement, but the press release, when they announced the return of TNA, they made it sound like they would be running more bigger venues for the Impact tapings and pay-per-views probably. So with this would probably be a shot in the arm that Impact needs if they are going to be running bigger arenas. CM Punk on the card, like him or not, would probably help with ticket sales. Also, maybe it'd help Access TV, even though Anthem owns it. Maybe they'll promote it more, and maybe that'll actually get some people if they see the CM Punk name as a part of Impact Wrestling. That, okay, Access TV, it's on the most expensive package in my cable company or my satellite company. So maybe they will decide to upgrade and move up to that higher package so they can get an Access TV to watch Impact Wrestling every Thursday on Access TV. Or you could just do what I do and subscribe to Sling for $40 a month. Access TV is a part of Sling, such as TNT, TBS, USA, of course, so that's why I've said before here on the podcast, as far as like the streaming, the cable alternatives go, Sling is the best option for a wrestling fan. That's why I have it. I'd say, because I'm definitely not rich, it's probably the cheapest one that has both USA, TNT, TBS, Access TV, most of the wrestling channels you need. And that is definitely the main reason why I have Sling in the first place. And back to CM Punk and the possibilities of him joining Impact Wrestling. And who knows? And one thing about Impact is it would be a much lighter schedule. He definitely wouldn't be on the road as much. Wouldn't have to travel every week or so. Maybe a couple times a month for a pay-per-view or a set of TV tapings. But other than that, really very light schedule Impact has as of right now. And unless that does change with TNA returning. But as of right now, I'd say Impact definitely sounds like a better decision for him than trying to make a return to WWE. I mean, yeah, more money in WWE, of course, but like I said, Impact, much lighter schedule, and you know Impact is going to treat them just like Hulk Hogan when he came into WCW. maybe not have a parade at Disney World or anything, but I'm sure they would definitely treat him like a huge star coming in, make him the top guy, and he'd probably be able to work whenever he wants to work. And before I wrap up this episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans, getting close to work now. Excuse me. Tonight, NXT Halloween Havoc Night 1. We don't have enough time to run down the card right now, but I might do a new episode of 360 Wrestling Fanatic tonight, going over tonight's Halloween Havoc. Not promising anything, but I might. Also, I will be back tomorrow morning for the Wednesday episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans to go over tomorrow night's episode of AEW Dynamite. And that is all for today. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Hope everyone has been having a really good Tuesday morning so far. Hope everyone enjoys the first week of NXT Halloween Havoc tonight. And hope you all will join me tomorrow morning for the Wednesday episode of Good Morning Wrestling Fans. But until then, have a great pro wrestling day.